Congratulations on the purchase of your Surface 604 Colt. We're going to go through the basic unboxing and assembly of your bicycle. Some of the tools we'll be using today are your multi-Allen key sets, individual Allen keys, or your tri-Allen key tool. You can use a torque set if you want it to be more detailed. We're also going to be using a pedal wrench. For unboxing, we're going to be using a pair of snips. We also need a bicycle pump, either a hand pump or a floor pump. If you don't have an actual pedal wrench, any regular 15mm wrench should work. First step is to fully charge your battery. The red light means it's charging. The green light means it's fully charged. For this portion of unboxing, we're going to take your knife and we're going to cut straps. Careful to cut away from you. And we're going to undo the staple top. Again, careful of the staples. Folding the cardboard away. If you're unboxing it solo, you can slice the outside of the box right to the very corner on each side. You're going to want to grab your accessory kit and put it on your bench. You'll want to remove the bike and secure it against the wall. And then we want to remove the protective packaging using a pair of snips. Be careful not to nip any wires, tubes, or any other sensitive parts. Okay, once you've got your packaging removed, you want to find a workspace you're going to be in or place it into your work stand. At the next stage of the build process is going to be the handlebar installation. One of the first steps we need to do is remove this aluminum sleeve. So while I'm holding the fork up into the frame, I'm going to remove the top cap. Once this top cap is removed, the fork can drop out of the frame, so I'm going to either hold it up with my hand or we can use something as a bungee cord or a rope, a bent coat hanger to secure it here if you wanted your hand free. We're going to remove the aluminum sleeve in the top cap. Before we can install the stem onto the frame of the bike, a few adjustments need to be made. On the stem here, the adjustable stem, there's a fixing bolt on the underside that you'll have to back out. And there are side bolts as well that need to be loosened off. Once you've got these loose enough, we can then adjust the stem so that we can find the head of the bolt in the top. At this point, we'll want to apply a film of grease to the outside of the steer tube and a little bit where the bolt is going to thread into as well. And then we can take your stem setup and fit it to the top while holding the fork still. And then you want to use an Allen key to find the bolt and steadily thread down. And we want to make sure that we don't over tighten this. It's just meant to tighten the bearing system flush, lightly snug, and then once it's secure, you're going to fix your two side bolts. We're going to do these as a rough alignment right now. We'll do a fine tune later on. Once you've got your handlebars in place, we're then going to move to the fender install, which you'll want to do before you install the wheel. And we're going to start with the center mount bracket, mounting at the back of the fork arch. Okay, at this point you'll want to use your 10mm box wrench and an Allen key to fit the fender. Next step is to install the strut mount to the outside of the fork bracket. And we're going to do the same procedure on the opposite side. And things are just going to be finger tight at this point so that we can adjust it and fine tune it once the wheel is installed, and then tighten. Before installing the wheel, you'll need to adjust the fender struts to make room. We're going to go to the accessory box, and we're going to pull out the front wheel quick release, which will put a light film of grease on, the axle and the threads of the quick release. We're going to install the quick release into the hub, spring with the wide flange of the spring facing the outside of the quick release. And then we're going to install the front wheel, aligning the rotor into the caliper and your quick release. And we're going to adjust the quick release so that it is nice and firm to close on the lever side. Once you've got the wheel installed, you can then fine-tune the bracket placement on the fender by sliding it up the fork leg where it's a snug fit and tighten in place. We're now going to install the pedals, so we're going to go to the accessory kit and get them out of the box. Be sure to note the right and left pedal. This one is the right with the R stamped on the inside. We're just going to put a little dab of grease on the pedal threads before installing. And we're going to finger tighten the right pedal into the right crank arm till we find the thread. You can wind it backwards to help tighten. And then you'll want to finally tighten with a pedal wrench or 15 mil wrench. And the same install procedure on the other side. Headlight install. I'm going to take it out of the packaging, and then we're going to install the headlight into the bracket using the washer and the nut to secure. And then we're just going to tighten the bracket down. And we want to make sure it's not over tightened, but enough to adjust it. And now we're going to connect the power to the light by aligning the notches and pressing in firmly. Now you can take your battery and install it into the bike by finding the secure slots at the bottom and clicking it into place at the top. The key is used to remove the battery, or is also used to lock it into place. You're supplied with two keys for the removal of the battery. Put one on your keychain and the other one in a safe, secure place. We are now going to remove the bike from the stand for further adjustments. We can then align the stem with the front wheel. Once you've got that set up, we can then tighten the side bolts. Once you've got your stem aligned and at the right height, then the final adjustment will be the undermount fixing bolt. You can now angle the screen down to your preference. And now we're going to want to make sure the crank bolts are secure. And we'll tighten up the kickstand. At this point now, we'll adjust the seat. And it has 2 bolts on the front and the back for forward tilt or rearward tilt. And now we can adjust the height of your seat up or down, securing it closed with a quick release. Ideally, we want to have a 10-degree bend at your knee. And now you're ready to hit the town on your Surface 604 Colt.